Hello, everybody. Today, I've got a special guest, John, who's busy setting up his headphones. So let's add him. Smile for the camera, John. I didn't say flex. Okay, so the first thing is just to summarize what our plans are for today. So Wildcards is doing a big upgrade in the near future, and it's software, so I'm not going to give you an exact date of that upgrade. But we've been working on new smart contracts for a while, and the smart contracts are very similar, so not a massive difference, but there are some variables that we have deprecated, right? So if we come here and we open this file, let's go to the top. What's happening? Okay, there we go. And you'll see some of these variables have deprecated in front of them. So the reason we are not deleting them completely from the contract is this contract is upgradable. And if we change the position of the data in the contract, it'll break everything. So that's why we're keeping it. But this value no longer can be queried, or this value will no longer be updated ever, which means we have to do some work in the graph because the graph currently grabs all of these values, right? So that's the very high level summary. Then what is the graph? It's fine. Yeah, here it is. The graph is a layer on top of our smart contracts that allows us to get data easily from our contracts. So our UI can say, I want to have, let's make an example. Let's remove this. I want to have wildcard with ID 5, and I want to have the token ID. I want to have the owner, and I want to have the price. So I can choose all the data that I want, and then actually maybe this is even cooler. You can have hierarchies. So previous owners. And here we can put the ID of the previous owner. And I think for these, we also need to put that ID. And the price, let's remind myself what the price looks like.
Above.
There we go. So you can say price and time set. And we don't need a comma there. So let's run this. And there we go. We've got the current owner. This is the current owner. We've got every previous owner. So this wildcard has been traded, I'm not good at counting with my eyes, 8 times, 7 times.
7. Nice.
Yeah, this is an active wildcard. It's one of the early ones, number 5. And here you can see the price is, I guess that's 0.5 ETH. Yeah, that's all the zeros for the way. And this is the time set. So this is super cool. Like in a few minutes, I can get any data I want from the smart contracts directly. And that's
because, yeah, the graph, Jason, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's almost like a programmable API. So anytime there's an action that happens in our smart contracts, someone buys a wildcard, someone changes the price, we have these events that are emitted, and the graph essentially will pick up these events, and we write a bunch of logic to say, if the price has changed, add time last set on price to this value and update the price XYZ. And then we can query all of that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I think today will be the first time we're not sharing my code. We'll actually share John's code. Do you actually want to share your screen, John?
Yeah, let me do it on screen 2 over here. You can
So
chuck me
yeah,
at the bottom.
a little bit of background, and I mentioned it on my announcement when I spoke about this on Twitter. Oh, wait, add to stream. Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
It's in there.
So with the graph, the code that we have in the graph has become very complicated over time. We've got production code basically, and we want to be very careful not to break it. So one of the strategies that I've come up with, John, if you could just share me the link.
I've shared it to you in WhatsApp. Just grab it. In WhatsApp.
Okay, sick. Thanks.
So I'm sure you've told everyone how we use live share, like sort of Google Docs for code, right? The coolest way.
Yeah. So basically, every event that happens from the blockchain, the graph picks that up, and we process that. And the order of our processing is split into 3 parts. The first part is reading the current values. The second part is doing any type of calculation on those values, but at no point ever changing or mutating a value. And only right at the end do we ever set the value. And the reason we do that is to avoid race conditions or unexpected mutations. So a lot of modern programming languages are immutable by default, which is very interesting. All of the functional, no, I shouldn't say all, a large majority of the functional programming languages are like this. Haskell, OCaml, Clojure, what's the other one? Elixir, all of them are immutable by default. And then, even languages like Rust are also immutable by default. So it's quite a trend. But unfortunately, we're using, it says TS, TypeScript, but actually this is assembly script. And assembly script, you can mutate values freely. So we have to be very diligent not to do that. John, I'll let you
Jason,
take it away.
Cool. Will you maximize the screen time to get our ugly faces out of here so we can focus on that?
Yeah.
On people can see the code.
Only one of the faces in the stream is ugly.
We'll let the viewers decide who that is. Put it in the live comments, guys. Huh? I'm kidding. So as Jason said, and so I'll give you a quick 1-minute background on the graph. So Jason has built out this graph, which is by far the most complicated graph we have. And it's complicated, as I said, because we've upgraded the contract all of these different times. That means the events we are emitting and what we're doing in the contracts have changed, and it has to cover all of that history. I've done some graphs for some other contracts, but they've been a lot simpler. So I'm quite familiar with this, but not as familiar with this deep logic. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to be doing some debugging tonight, and we'll quickly start off actually with the error. So we've deployed onto RinkB, and I guess over here we deploy on different test nets, and RinkB is one of the test nets we're using, and we're using this test net because it's got no history at all, essentially. We haven't been trading with it, so what we do to recreate the entire flow is deploy contract version 0, then 1, then 2, then 3. You deploy them all on top of each other, and by doing that, we can recreate what it's going to look like when we try it on mainnet. And this YAML file basically just defines the address of the contract, essentially the entities. And as you can see, these V3 events, we have to slowly add. And as we add them, they're going to break our code. And the one that's currently breaking our code, or the only one that we've added so far, is this upgrade to V3 and handle the upgrade. And if we look over here, we've deployed it. And if we go onto the pending version over here, you can see it has failed, unfortunately. And we come down over here, and I'm just going to put the logs on warning level. And what actually has happened is this has happened, and now we got to figure out why it's broken. So it's basically saying something has happened with this handle collect patronage. That's the issue. But before that, debugging.
This is fun for me because John basically told me he had an error, and I haven't seen this error, so we're gonna have some fun debugging live with an audience.
This could be a 7-hour stream with no progress, but yeah, we're gonna smash it.
We'll make some progress. I'm sure.
We'll do it. So what I'm going to show you here first is one way to debug in the graph is you add a lot of warnings sprinkled out in your code. It's very difficult often to tell where things went wrong, why they went wrong. It's notoriously quite difficult. So I'm actually going to go to all of these events that are happening over here, token ID in the code, and I'm going to show you what's been happening and what's been omitted. So you can see over here in this index.ts file that we have this handle add token utility, and this function is essentially log.warning a token ID. So we know this thing is firing. You can see over here we've added token ID 19, 20, 21, 22, and that's because there's 22 tokens launched at the moment. So that makes sense, and up to this far, we're sort of doing fine. But I want to draw your attention to the last part, collect patronage over here. And if we look at collect patronage in the Stuart, you can see over here we have this function, handle collect patronage, and it logs warning collect patronage with the exclamation mark. And that, takes us to this part over here. And then the very next thing we get is an error saying failed to invoke handler collect patronage. So I want to go look at the lines right after this log warning. And the line 84 right afterwards calls something called handle collect patronage. So already alarm bells are ringing. There's handle collect patronage here, and there's handle collect patronage here that it's failing to invoke the handler. So Jason's doing some work for me, which is great. And what we're going to do is we're going to deploy it again, and we're going to sprinkle warnings around here. And if this doesn't run and this doesn't print, then we know the issue is in this function over here. So I'm going to bring this function up. And essentially these different versions, version 1 means we have different functions for version 1. And sometimes some things in the contracts change, sometimes some things don't. So in this case, if handle collect patronage hasn't really changed, we can just call the version 1 function of it. So I'm going to go to version 1 over here.
So quickly, it makes reasonable sense that there's something failing in there because as you saw at the beginning, I've deprecated quite a lot of values. And my hunch, obviously I don't know this yet, is that one of these calls in this function is calling a deprecated endpoint, like the contract on that point has changed, and that's why it's failing. So I think, step 1 is maybe let's just sprinkle warnings all over this place.
Yeah, so if you see on the right side that I've opened up, I've gone to this handle collect patronage function in V1, and it's likely that something in here is breaking. So sprinkling warnings where you've done is right, and then let's sprinkle warnings in this handle collect patronage function.
So my guess, just before, we don't have to sprinkle warnings if we, let's sprinkle as few as possible. Let's sprinkle them around anywhere where Stuart gets called. So I can see over here, get total collected. This already is I think this is going to be without even testing, I'm going to guess it's in this file. Where's this defined? It seems when it's on live share, I can't control click to the definition. Which
No worries. I'll
you can
do
find
it
it for me.
Here we go. Get
Yeah, I'm
total
following you.
wildcard. Stuart.total collected token ID. There we go. That's
Cool.
our
So
issue.
this is failing. And now we have to think on the spot on how to fix this. My initial reaction is that we're going to need to make a helper function that's called safe total get or something, total collected, something along the line. So let's just put that above here. Export. We don't actually have to export this function, but yeah, why not? Function safe get total collected. Okay, and I think let's pass in the Stuart. So over here, if you can see my cursor, we're calling this on the Stuart. The change that we're making is that we're passing in the Stuart. Then over here, let's think this needs to return a big integer. So yeah, this is a typed language, so we need to add all of this. And this returns a big int, right? That makes sense.
Yeah, sorry, my second screen just conked out for a second, but we're back and good.
Okay. And then let's just check if we get a different error if we say return big int dot from I32 5.
0.
So we just run that like that. I'm getting some. Okay, no, it's fine. And then here we need to say safe get total collected. Stuart.
Same over here.
We need to actually pass in the token ID. I forgot that. Token
safe
ID.
Get total collected.
Big int. And then remove that. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, John. Sorry, be careful. I think maybe we must undo what I just did. No, wait, let me think. If it's the... Okay, no, it's fine.
This is just if it's vselect, it's just adding an extra amount.
Adding old...
It's
okay, yeah,
for
context, guys, this constant is how much we raised on the original contract, the sort of pilot contract that we launched when we started Wildcards. Okay, and this needs to take in the Stuart. I think that might be it, and hopefully we'll get an error somewhere else. Why is this complaining? No, it's not complaining. Cool.
Yeah, my computer's just complaining.
This, John?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's save this other part too.
And yeah, I guess just for those watching, basically this process is going to be rinse and repeat. We're going to do something, find there's an error, find where that error is, fix it, and then it'll go to the next, until we've gone through all of the errors and the graph runs smoothly. So I don't intend to make this stream very long, but hopefully we'll get very far.
Okay, so what I did is I first just ran something called yarn run code gen, which essentially, based on all the changes we've made in our code, just essentially does all of the helper backend stuff that I don't think is as interesting as the actual coding itself, but it's very important. and then we're deploying it to Rinkeby over here.
Yeah, that's it.
And here's our
while that's
Rinkeby.
Sorry,
No, go for it.
I was going to say that will take a minute or two. It's quite quick, but let's actually start filling out the logic here. So
cool.
While that's running,
if you see on the screen here, it says syncing 99.9%. That's because we can start it syncing from the block right at the end, and you can see it's actually failed already. So we have another issue.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get all the issues in one shot, eh?
No, unfortunately not.
So maybe if you can follow me, just so I can show everyone.
Let's do it.
If you're in the schema, you see this version. This is a new value. I think I've set this up correctly, but I'm not sure.
Just hold on. I'm getting to follow you still. I think we didn't save the one file.
That's a very good question.
We didn't save this file. I think that's why it maybe didn't work. There we go. We didn't save the index file, Jason, that we deployed.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's one of the difficult things with LiveShare, saving. It's difficult for me, for some reason, to save your files.
No worries. Done. Okay, following you now in the schema.
So I've implemented this thing that increases the version, right?
Yeah.
And where does this code get called? Let me just do a quick search. Version. Global state.version. Here we go. So it starts at 0, and then we've upgraded a few times, but over here, when this function gets called, we are upgrading to version 3. John, does this function get called before?
No, it doesn't ever get called.
Okay, so we've got a challenge on our hands. I seem to remember hearing when asking in the chat a while ago what the rules about ordering are for these, but I think I've got a hunch. I'm not 100% sure, but if we move this up right to the top. Okay, let's fix the indentation.
Jason, I actually think we haven't even got to calling that function upgrade to v3 yet. I think we still hitting errors before we even get to calling that function.
John, I'm going to step out for at most 1 minute. But cool. Did it make sense what I was saying?
Yeah, I think it made.
Putting this above might mean that this event happens first. If that doesn't work, then we'll try another solution.
Cool. No worries. I'm going to keep on here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to come back to what Jason was saying now. But first, we're actually going to go back and look if there's any more bugs we can catch. So it looks like we were again having an error. The same error. It was still failing on handle collect patronage. You can see that's now tonight at this time. So we actually are going to go have a look again at this handle collect patronage function. And we are going to go try and see where the error was. So you can see that this log didn't run. So somewhere in here it is breaking. I'm going to go see that the other file is saved. Jason, what was that other file that... this one, update all of patrons' last upgraded tokens. Okay, this one's saved.
So did what I say do anything?
I haven't run it yet, but just let me say what my thoughts are. So
Okay.
you're saying if two events occur at the same time in the same block, the ordering will determine which handler gets executed first.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes complete sense. That makes. I was wondering. I don't think we've actually even got to getting to this function first. I think if I go to it, handle upgrade to v3, we should put a Stuart log warning. Okay, here we go. You see, this is actually not called anywhere yet. This fact that upgrade to v3 was called.
Okay, I'm following you.
So what I'm saying, Jason, is we actually never even have this function being called, because it would say upgrade to v3 was called. We're still fixing errors before it upgrades to version 3 at the moment.
Yeah, but the problem that I'm saying is the it's in the same transaction that updates, and we actually want this to get called first. That's why I tried putting this event right at the top.
Cool. Well, let's give it a go. Yeah, let's redeploy and see if we get any luck. Otherwise, yeah, let's keep going. Just going to run a code gen. Unfortunately, all these little things take an extra 10 seconds when we're streaming because I have a MacBook and it's not as powerful as Jason's Linux monster. Here we go. Okie dokie. So, Jason, I'm just going to go through and while we wait for it to deploy, look at this handle collect patronage function and check if there's something else that jumps out that we think might give issues. So there's this function.
Yeah.
Update all patrons tokens last updated. So if we go into that, just having a quick look here, load wildcard, Stuart time last collected of the wildcard token ID. Do we have a time last collected, Jason, for a wildcard still, or is it only for a patron and a benefactor? I'm going to go here. Okay, we do time lost collected patron. Here we go, deprecated, time lost collected. There's another issue, folks. So this isn't even a public value now. You can see over here we are saying Stuart time last collected of the token ID, but this is deprecated now. So there's our one issue. Jason Smith, are you around? Jason's internet isn't great, so no worries. Okay, I'm just going to bring the other... Oh, Jason Smith left. Yeah, shame his internet is quiche out. But don't stress. I'm going to keep smashing this for us. So let's go back to the Stuart version 1. Okay. Handle collect patronage. No, that's not the one we want. Yeah, there's a lot of Stuarts in here. Okay, so we want to go in here. And there we go. Okay. So we know the error is happening in here, right? And here's where the first error is happening. So this is us grabbing all the values from the event that's emitted. So this event collect patronage is actually being called in our smart contract over here. And if you scroll down, you'll see we have this event collect patronage over here. And whenever patronage is collected, remember we're working with
John, I'm looking at the
contracts.
stream, and I think you need to zoom in more.
Cool. I'll do one more zoom in. Will you also make our faces cruise out?
Yeah. I just wanted to show everyone I'm back.
Yeah, it's really big now. So Jason, what I was just showing them is the event in the smart contract code that gets emitted. And every time patronage is collected, because it's a harbinger tax contract, you say which ID, the patron, the remaining deposit, and the amount received. And I was showing another error we picked up. So in this handle collect patronage function, what we just checked was this get total collected for wildcard, and that brings an error. But another error we're getting is from this function first, update all of patrons tokens last updated. And if we look on the right here of this function, what it actually looks like, you can see that in this function, we're doing something called Stuart time last collected of wildcard token ID. And if we go back to our contract, time last collected is actually a deprecated value. Yes, over here, deprecated, time last collected. So we need to also change this function, update all of patrons tokens last updated. So I'm going to say function new.
So while John's typing that, the reason we've deprecated that value is because now when we collect patronage, we collect it for the whole, for the all of the patrons' tokens at once. So if you've got one token or 100 tokens, it all gets collected in a single like computation, right? Whereas before it used to get collected per token, which was actually inefficient. So that's one of the reasons we're so excited about this upgrade. So what we're going to do inside here is check if it's version 3, then we are going to use the value on collect patron time last collected patron rather than time last collected.
So how do we grab? Let's actually here then first in this function grab the. Okay, I'm going to say Stuart.bind. Let's grab the version. I would say, why don't we listen to this?
Do that inside the function. Let's keep it self-contained. That's just my personal preference, so that the outer function doesn't get messy on the implementation details of the inside. So we encapsulating the complexity inside this function, and this function just says, get the time last updated. That's what it does. And inside here, we can load the global state.
So let's load the global. Let's load the global state here. So load what version we are in.
I hope it's tasty loaf there, John.
Global state. Yeah, thank you. And then execute correct function based on version. Okay, so basically if version is less than 3, then we're going to do it. Oh, it's a little love sign. We're going to do it how we previously did it. Otherwise, we are going to, for now, we just do the same thing as last time. We're going to just say big int I32 and just get it to work. Basically, we want the code to work first, if I'm not mistaken. So in terms of loading the address...
small steps always. So let me quickly put that there.
Cool. There we go.
Event. Oh, wait. What? Okay, so this.
You don't need this.
Yeah, you don't need that. We've got the steward already.
I don't even think we need the steward,
current,
right?
No, we do. No, we will need the steward because we're gonna query. We're gonna query on the steward, but we also need what? The wildcard token ID. So yeah, token ID. I think just call it token ID just to keep it standard.
Yeah, it's backseat coding. So you can see what our guys have to put up with. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, the idea is to make this code very generalized because we might use this code for other Harburg attacks purposes on future projects, etc. So, yeah, where possible, we like to not use the words wildcards and rather use token IDs and stuff.
Cool.
So we want to get the current owner of this token, and we can get that from the steward. So steward dot my memory of the contracts should be better. It's current owner or something.
Sorry, what are you wanting to get?
Oh wow, yeah, we've got our work cut out for us. The current patron variable we also deprecated, so we have to get that from the ERC 721 token.
Dirty.
But maybe for the sake of not getting stuck during the stream, let's not do that, and I'll write a little to-do.
Global and number. Okay, this is going to be global state dot. Okay, I'm going to open the schema.
What's it? Wildcard.load. Yeah, I love it when I say something on a stream and then realize that I was in my own code that I probably wrote. There's like examples of the exact opposite. Anyway, I'm changing this to token ID, not wildcard ID.
Okay. I am going to the schema. Sorry, I'm working a little bit slow. My computer's sometimes struggles to handle a live share code session and a stream and everything. I should upgrade to Pop OS.
Yeah, that's the one. That's what you need. Saying doesn't. Okay, no, it's happy there. So we want to say let
big int number
owner equals wildcard dot owner, something like that. Whoa. I think I need to reload my live share. It's going crazy. Okay, yeah. Oh,
oof,
I should have copied what I had.
No. Hold on. The code is going everywhere. Collaborator 73. That's what your name is, yeah. Do you want me to quickly commit this and you send a link? Maybe we'll have more luck on your PC.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
Cool.
I don't think we're going to
save this.
Do too much longer here. So I think this will be the last error we fix, and then we can move from there.
Okay, I'm just gonna. Oh, this all got a bit wrecked. I'm just gonna comment this out.
Don't worry. Call it work in progress and just gooi it. I shouldn't use Afrikaans slang words on international stream. Gooi means throw, guys. So throw it into the Git. Gooi it into Git.
Okay.
What's the name of the branch you putting it in?
Rinkby graph.
Okay, cool. Let me share my screen. John, can I suggest you stop sharing your screen just to save bandwidth? Perfect. So I've got this open here. I'm going to close the other live share because I don't want it to conflict. Don't save. Cool. And now I'm going to, let's not use that option. Sometimes it doesn't work. Start collaboration session. Copy. Okay, I'm going to send it inside the chat here.
Cool.
In private chat. Boom. Let me know if you've got it.
Yeah, got it.
And then I'm going to do a git pull. And let me make it bigger. John, can you... Oh, that's a bit too big. Can you tell me what this looks like from your side? Is this
Man,
good?
from my side, it looks good, eh? Very much good.
Cool. So it's nice and big. Everyone can see everything. Which file were we in? Remind me. Stuart.
There's like 10 Stuart files. I'm not going to lie. It's quite confusing.
Yeah, we should name. So what we have is the folder. So this is inside the V3 folder, but we should say Stuart V3. We should rename this Stuart V3. That's a very good point. Remember that. So what I can try and do. Oh, yeah, I can see it here. Source Stuart. Okay, well, we made some changes here. Yeah, okay, here we are. It's not in the Stuart folder, it's in the index folder. File, sorry. Cool, so we load the global state. Whoa, I thought I'd written... Okay, super weird. A whole bunch of stuff got deleted.
Yeah, sorry, man. Our live shares were completely conking out.
Yeah, no worries. It's a pity, but we'll manage. Wildcard. So now I'm getting it from the graph, the database that the graph has, rather than querying it from the contract. And I do think it's better to query it from the contract. That's one of my design philosophies when working with the graph. If the value exists on the contract, always get it from the contract. Never be like, oh, it exists in the local database, That's, word of advice. Wildcard.load token ID. Okay. Why is this underlined? Needs to be lowercase. Okay. What am I doing? There we go. Next, we need to say let owner equals wildcard.owner. So that's the current owner. And now we will, let's put this here, let current version equal global state dot version.
The issue we're having.
So,
not the issue.
There's still some weirdness on. Okay, I think
it's
fine.
It's because we're comparing a big integer and.
Yeah. So we need to say greater. Less than. New big. No, we don't need the new. That's JavaScript. New big int
from I32.
There we go. If it's that, then we need to run the original code. Where's the original code? Here.
Just below it, yeah.
Throw this
Live
out.
share is bugging out, so I'm just going to follow you, Jason, on the stream and chat through it with you there. It's not updating for me.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, maybe that's not the best way, but let's just have let return value. No, sorry. Let's just return it directly. No need to wait. So we return this. Why is it erroring? Token ID doesn't exist there. Okay.
No, it's a void.
And
it says void at the top of the contract. My bad. Just take that out.
No worries. Big int. And now, if it's version 3, we say time last collected patron. And we put owner. Okay, we've got a problem. This is a string and it needs an integer. So let's okay, this shouldn't be a string. This should be a big int. And we need to convert this dot to string. Cool. And then owner is type string, but we need it to be address. Let me go back to the schema so I can remind myself what it looks like. Owner, patron. Okay. Okay, so we need... We're jumping through lots of hoops here, guys.
Yeah.
Let's find this patron thing. Yeah, patron. So we need to load this. So yeah, it would be easier to do this, but we don't really have that set up. So for now, we're going to do patron object, whatever. We're going to refactor this. Patron.load wildcard.owner, and then we're going to say let owner equal patron dot address.
Oof.
My spelling
Proton.
is bad. Proton object. Oh, wait, are there no compiler errors? Isn't that a good feeling? Okay.
Yeah, buddy.
And we just need to copy this. Let's go down. Okay.
We need a Stuart and token ID. Yeah. There we go. Oh, but hold on. Is that a big int? The second parameter.
Yeah,
Our
it is a
function
big
takes
int.
in a string.
No,
just check up.
It's a big int. I changed it.
Oh, you changed it. Okay.
Yeah, it's better to be a big int. In assembly script, it seems really difficult. It seems more difficult than it should be, and it kind of makes sense to convert from a string into an int. But going the other way is easy, and this needs to be a big int. So it's better rather to pass it as a big int, and then when we need it as a string, like collapse it into a string. So Okay, we're going to be doing this live. Unfortunately, I didn't. I recently upgraded my operating system. Okay, let me actually. Yeah, it's fine. We'll have to refresh the code afterwards. So this is not good security practice, unfortunately. Very bad security practice, but we need to say graph deploy. Well, actually, yeah, that's fine. Normally, I don't show this in plain text when I'm deploying. Okay, there. Some casting from. Well, we need to convert this to an address. My memory is not great. I don't know if this is. No. No. I've had to deal with this before, but my memory is not helping me. Let's quickly go into type address and see. There is a from string, right? Okay. I keep on going back on this, but let's do dot from string. Is that? Yeah, I guess that'll make sense. From string. And we want this basically. Ooh. Come on. Oh no, we don't even want that. We want wildcard.owner. Yeah, this is definitely not as nice. This is not type safe. This can error. Converting a string into an address, that can error. This doesn't have to be the right format, but if it compiles, we'll go for it. Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, let's just see the query there. Oh no, I need to go to the latest. Well, it's already failed. But let's see if it's failed in a different place.
Ooh. But the thing is, there's lots of things happening and handle collect patronage. It's failed there again, but remember,
Yeah, so
there's loads of things that are happening.
And then, yeah. So if this prints, then we've done what we wanted to do. And I thank anyone who was watching. And I hope you learned a lot. And please give me feedback, all of that. But let's run this now. Drum roll. But yeah, so, I think this is a good lesson for programming. I think fixing all of this is actually a really massive task. And it's very intimidating and daunting. But if you break it up and go error by error, it's not that bad. Like each individual thing that John and I have done together hasn't been extremely difficult. Warren, come on, I've got a good feeling. No.
Ah, it didn't print.
Oh, are we sure that this is in the... Whoops.
Log
sure
critical. Warning or critical?
Warning is better.
Okay, go to warning. You weren't on warning debug level. No, you were. You were. Sorry.
Okay, the stream goes on. The stream
All
goes
night,
on.
baby. All night.
No, this is not crazy difficult. I just wonder if I was out while you're choosing this part to fix, and maybe we didn't even get to this point. I mean, I trust you, of course.
I don't think so. This was the first one, actually. This was the one that happened before the other one we fixed even.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so this happened before that even. But it could be even further up. But this looked to me like the first part in the collect patronage where it would fail. Okay, it's hit those logs, boy.
Yeah. Okay, well, we fixed code that doesn't need fixing, or
no, we didn't. Go to the collect patronage function that we are fixing, the v1.collect patronage.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah. And there's the handle collect patronage. That's the function that it was erroring in. Yeah, so the two things we fixed, if you scroll down, is this update all of patrons last updated.
Make this bigger. Sorry. Okay, cool.
So the two things we fixed were that, if you scroll up, update all of patrons tokens last updated, that function, and then the function below it, get total collected for wildcard on line 539. So
this was the first thing we fixed.
That's the first thing we did, and then I saw there was one also in there that was an error. But who knows if there's something else even higher up. But let's have a warning there and see if...
what should we say? Okay, I'm just calling them AAA.
Let's also have one, right at the top maybe or something.
Yeah, this is what I didn't want to do, but desperate times, eh? Oh, things don't always go your way. I feel like programming sometimes is a metaphor for life,
Oh my goodness.
Some good life lessons here.
End the stream.
Okay, let's run this.
People thought they were getting coding advice, now they're getting therapy for free, hey? What a bonus.
Therapy from Jason. Yeah, I'm multi-talented, right? I can help people.
Yeah, man. I know.
But I can only express my my advice in coding terms. That's just how it's going to be. So if you're not a programmer, I would be a horrible therapist. Maybe I'd just be a horrible therapist regardless. But okay. This website's unresponsive. Okay, it says a few seconds ago. I'm just going to reload just to be like 100% sure. Okay. And normally they print these out of order, which is always super annoying. Okay.
There we go. Dude, they executed. What?
1. Okay, so it didn't execute any of this. I mean, it's good that you fixed it. We'll need to fix that code anyway, but 6, 7.
Okay. Still getting stuck somewhere here.
But
Come
yeah,
on, boy, all the way to 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
This is like the equivalent of push-ups for coders. Like, how fast can you do debug statements? Okay, I've got a hunch that it's getting stuck here.
Yeah, we haven't even looked there yet, so it's very possible it's getting stuck there.
If it's getting stuck there, I think we're going to end the stream. Because,
then we've been successful, actually.
Yeah, we got further than we expected. We thought we would just get to here. Cool.
I think the crowd wants it to stop earlier so they can have more stream.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm tired, guys. I've been coding all day. Let's see.
12.
Up till 13. 11, 12, 13.
Maybe it's even further down somewhere it's getting stuck. The stuff we fixed worked, though.
That's awesome, dude. I'm high-fiving you.
Yeah, dude. Virtual high fives. Put our faces on you. I want a virtual high five you.
Yeah. And everyone can see how cold it is. I'm literally wearing gloves. How do I change this? Yeah, guys, it's freezing. We all in Joburg. John, how many layers are you wearing?
Or do you have some 2 layers.
Heavy heaters going in
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Jacket's not even zipped up, bro.
Yeah, so cool. You're on fire there, huh?
Yeah, okay, there we go.
Okay, peace out, guys. A nice hour-long stream. And I will catch you on Thursday. And actually, hopefully, we'll have completed all of this by Thursday and we'll do something else. But who knows? I like to surprise you guys.